Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to react to the history of Japan. A lot of people have requested this because I did the history of the world. If you haven't checked that out, you could check it out in my channel. It's pretty fun. We had a lot of fun and I got a little nerdy. And today, let's see if we'll get nerdy. I don't know that much about Japan, so I don't know if I'll get nerdy today, but I am very interested in educational videos sometimes because I think it's fun. Here's the history of Japan.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes, and it's
beautiful. Beautiful!
In the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it.
Oh, wow!
When it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees.
Oh, okay. There was land connecting to China and Japan before.
It's warmer. So now there's people on the island. They're basically
like the glaciers are also melting right now. Does that mean a lot of islands will sink, right? I did hear that. There's some places that are sinking deeper, like Venice, maybe? Was it Venice? I don't know. That's actually how Native Americans got to North America via land bridge. Wow, that's fun. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of countries though that are made because of volcanic eruptions, so I don't think there are like big islands connecting to it. So they're like just small islands because they are islands that are made up by underwater volcano eruptions. I think not most, but some tropical areas, tropical islands maybe,
of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology,
nuts.
like stones.
There's nuts. Joke.
Bowls. Ding dong. It's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms.
I love rice farms.
Now you can make a lot of rice.
I love that.
Quickly.
Yay!
That means if you own the farm,
rice.
you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land.
If you have rice, you're a king.
Way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, 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 and here. But this one was the most important, ruled by a heavenly superperson, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door. It's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China. Can you call us something?
I feel like Asian countries have beef with each other has spanned for thousands of years. But if like a Western country comes between us, we're like, fuck off. Asians unite, or some shit. And then, anyways, I hate you still.
Anything else other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what, said China. How about sunrise?
I love that. The thing is, like, they still call it this. Like, until to this day, like, China still calls Japan as this words, which is read as Rurpan, and it means sunrise island or sunrise land. Rur is sun or day, whichever you want. It has a lot of meaning. Japan is east of China where the sun rises, so it's called Rurpan, origin of the sun. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the clarification. I love that. That's lovely. Thank you.
Said Japan. And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And
I've been to Kyoto. It's super nice.
Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be great for a long time.
Awesome.
And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich, important
it's the feudal lord
poor people
era
who could
time.
not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai.
The poor people just like, well, guess we ballin'. Guess I'll die. I know this is such a sad thing to say, but during these times, or even until now, like poor people, sometimes you see them super happy, especially like in third world countries and stuff, you see like people with less just looking super cheerful. And then I just, like this is so funny, but like, I feel like they have that mentality with like, guess I'll die. Whenever I hear like this, like rich people hire samurai to protect their shit and poor people just chill. Like, I don't know, guess everything's on fire, but it's fine. Kind of shit,
Samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government here. They let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in
The
control.
real emperor.
Breaking news, the Mongols have invaded China.
Because they're happy with what they had. It's called humility. Actually, very interesting about it is, okay, well, we're going to get a little bit nerdy. We're going to get serious about it. Sometimes the people with the most to lose or feel like they have more to lose are more afraid of losing that shit that they have. And because of that, they tend to be greedier. They tend to like want more because they're like, oh no, but what if I lose everything? But when you don't have much, you learn to appreciate what you have because you're able to count your blessings. Like you're able to perceive the fact that, okay, I may not have much, but the fact that I have this right now, I'm already thankful. Hi, Julian. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the stream. I really appreciate it, but sorry, it's Julian. I accidentally misspelled it because I was typing fast. It's okay, Julian. I'll remember that. It's easy to remember. King Julian. Everyone does that. I'm sorry.
Invaded China,
Said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado.
Wow.
But they tried again and had a nice time fighting.
But, you know, like Japan is one of those countries with a lot of natural calamities. They have earthquakes, typhoons, tsunamis, tornadoes. You know, I'm really surprised how they always are so resilient. They have really great policies and like protocols that helps them deal with that kind of stuff. You know, I really admire that.
With the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
Oh God.
Then the emperor overthrows
Damn, the tornado
shogunate.
is on Japan's side.
Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants.
Wait, I mean, other people do that to you, Julian, but can I just say, they'll never be as good as me. Okay, well, we got an emperor now in Japan.
Fine. Now there's more art. Like painting with
I love
less colors,
art,
collaborative
yay.
poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening, architecture,
I love gardening.
flowers. It's time
Like
for who's going
Japan
to be the next
garden's so
shogun.
beautiful.
Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid. So he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to
Oh,
be?
no.
Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually
God.
didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry.
Maybe someone set it on fire to kill somebody. You know those like manhwas or manga where it's a drama. It's like a historical drama. There's always like somebody scheming and stuff.
Country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting with each
Oh,
other
that's
for
like
local
me.
power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks, and
Nice.
guns.
Nice.
So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control, now with guns. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital?
This is the part where Samurai X happens. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Any weebs in the chat? Anybody relate? Weebs in the chat? Hello? Anybody? Okay.
Which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them. This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering
Sounds like an
Japan.
anime.
And then he confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said.
Oh
and failed,
boy.
And also died.
That's ambitious.
But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan.
Oh boy,
And
that's
the
a
5
bad
guys
idea.
said, yeah, right. It's not going to be this kid. It's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government
nice.
right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they closed the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit, but they have to do it right here. Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built,
Nice.
everyone learned to read, books were published, there was
Everyone
poetry,
became
plays,
smart.
sexy times, puppet
Sexy
shows,
time,
and Dutch
ooh.
studies. People started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry,
Oh, I
astronomy,
love that.
maybe
It's like
even
the
electricity.
Renaissance
Over time,
period,
the economic
but
and
in
cultural
Japan.
prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's the
Oh,
United States.
America's
Huge
here.
boats with guns.
The guns.
Gunboats. Open the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States.
Let me,
There's really
they were literally like, let me in. They were that meme. Let me in. And Japan's like,
nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets the United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western. And do you know what else is Western? That's right.
They're like, I hate this, but what if I become them?
It's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China.
Korea actually hates Japan for that reason.
And go a little bit further, and Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says,
Stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water.
And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, can you maybe chill? And Russia says, how about maybe you chill? Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment. And then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I.
Oh
the world is about to have a war because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy.
Everyone is like, oh my gosh, I have many weapons. Let's try it. And then they just started a war.
Empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just
Look, it's us!
had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass. Or actually shot him in the head. And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway. So they called Britain on the telly.
It's like a high school drama. It truly is. It's fucking boring though. They're just sitting in the trenches and people dying in the trenches because they get sick and stuff, and it's just not great.
Sort of let them know.
I guess it is a kind of hole.
And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world.
That
the Great
did not
Depression
last.
is bad, and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. And the League of Nations is like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway?
Oh my god, it's like, but what if I don't follow that? What you gonna do about it?
Invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happened to be Britain, said, holy shit. And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan.
Because they both speak English. Joke.
And because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb. Bigger than any other bomb
It's
ever.
A big bomb.
Just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes.
And
then
that
Germany,
was when the Asian countries got involved.
as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works.
Oh
so they drop it on
no!
Japan. They actually dropped 2.
Oh god. That's so sad.
The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle.
Ooh.
And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders.
Oh my god. Oh yes. Yes.
Fast
Yes.
as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off.
It's literally all of our technology. TV, consoles, everything, you know. Oh my gosh. VHS, cassette, and just everything. Nintendo, Sony.
But everything's still pretty cool, I guess.
Anime! Joke. An anime was born. But yeah, that was super educational. I couldn't say that much because I feel like I skipped a lot of things. But That was fun. I like learning. Wow, I sound like a nerd. Haha, I like learning.